as an income tax officer in preventing corruption in the district.
Sir, can I take some time to think about it?
Or it can be seen as a good governance initiative.
Corporate social.
What is the difference between calligraphy and graphology?
Sir.
Mr. Chitharanjan, I think we have already met earlier, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We met.
Okay. So I'll be the last to talk to you.
Sir.
Dr. Mahesing, you kindly take over, please.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, Mr. Chitharanjan,
Sir.
are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay. Tell something about yourself.
Sir, I'm Chitharanjan.
Introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm Chitharanjan. I'm born in Warangal and brought up in Secunderabad of Telangana. And I pursued my bachelor's of pharmacy. Then I did MBA from Osmania University. I worked in Intelligence Bureau for 4 years. Then I worked as an assistant commandant in Indo-Tibetan Border Police for 1 year. Then I cracked UPSC Civil Services in 2016. And I have been working as Deputy Commissioner of Income Tax. And I got after getting selected to Indian Revenue Service. I'm posted in Bangalore, sir.
Okay, good. So, what are your hobbies?
Sir, my hobbies are calligraphy, forgery detection, and jewelry designing, sir. These are my hobbies.
Oh, very good.
Sir.
Tell me, you're from Warangal.
Yes, sir.
That is in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana?
It is in Telangana, sir.
It is in Telangana. Telangana government is providing assistance to farmers through a scheme.
Sir.
What is that scheme and what is your opinion about the scheme?
Sir, Telangana government has been providing a scheme called as Raitu Bandhu scheme. So under Raitu Bandhu scheme, each farmer, a farmer who is holding a land of 1 acre or the multiples of it, they get 5,000 rupees per acre of the land. This particular money, it can be used by the farmer for investment into the agriculture. And
5,000 per acre for a year or for once for all?
It is per year, sir.
Okay, then tell me what is your opinion about the scheme?
Sir, it is a very good scheme, sir. It has been replicated by the Indian central government as a central government also replicated it, and even Andhra Pradesh also replicated it. But I feel that there should be this particular scheme is applicable to everyone. There is no land ceiling effect on it. For example, if a farmer is having around 15 acres, so he is getting in the multiples of 15 into 5. And at the same time, the landless laborers and the workers who are working as tenants in the lands, they are not taken into consideration. So there should be a change.
Is there any scheme in by any other state government which takes care of the tenants?
Yes, sir. Orissa government has introduced the same scheme called as Kalia, K-A-L-I-A. So here it takes care of the agriculture laborers and as well as tenants, sir.
Okay, and what is your opinion about the limit on the land holding about this Raitu Bandhu? If you are the person to decide the limit, what will you do?
Sir, I would limit the ceiling limit not more than if a farmer is having more than 10 acres of the land, then he should not get this thing. Instead, the quantum can be transferred to the people who are working as tenants in the same field.
What is the idea behind this, behind the scheme? What is the objective of the scheme or intention of the scheme?
Sir, if we look into the statistics from 2015 to 2020-21, the farmer suicides were high in Telangana, sir. It was roughly around 898 farmer suicides in 2014-15. So it gradually got decreased to 400 now.
Okay.
So previously the farmers, they did not have any proper access to the monetary benefits. So in order to
farmers commit suicide,
sir,
when he cannot pay the loan, he or she cannot pay the loan, isn't it?
Sir.
That is because of the loan. they are not able to bear the expenses, particularly in case the crop failure is there.
Sir,
So if there is a crop failure,
sir.
who will suffer more? The one who has taken more loan or taken very less loan? More loan, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So who takes the more loan? One who has more land holding,
Yes, sir.
because he needs more inputs in all the acres. So then by limiting this, they will again commit suicide, because only up to 10 acres they will get the risk covered. Rest of the risk will not be covered.
Sir.
What is your opinion about it? This analysis.
Sir. So the farmer suicides it is a multidimensional problem. It is not only associated with the economy, but it is also associated with irrigation also, sir. So the Telangana government has also taken care of this by providing Mission Kakatiya, where it has regenerated the tanks. And at the same time, it has also brought in...
That's okay. That's okay. 1 minute. Halt. Actually, whatever the other reason I mentioned, they are all accumulating in terms of the loss in agriculture.
Sir.
Ultimately, it is economy in agriculture. If they are not able to pay back the loan, then they will commit suicide. Some of them, those who feel that it is a social shame,
Sir.
that kind of thing. Anyhow, I meant to say argumentatively, whether you are right while holding. I'll suggest one more thing.
Sir.
Why can't we have telescopic amount, just like railway fare? The more the land, the lesser the amount becomes. Marginal increase in the amount given by the state to the farmer is less per acre when it is more than 10, rather than making it 0.
Yes, sir. I haven't thought in this particular direction, but yes, sir. This is also one valuable thing that which can be done, sir. A telescopic way of giving this amount to the farmers. The more the amount of the land they have, the lesser income, the lesser amount they get it. This can also be taken into consideration, sir.
Now you have been in pharmacology also. You have worked in some pharmacy. During COVID time.
Sir.
No, I'm asking a question.
Sir.
During the COVID time,
sir,
private hospitals have fleeced the people, those who went there affected by the COVID.
Sir.
And most of the medicines, they were sold at very high rates.
Sir.
So now, whether there is a need to set up a inquiry commission to find out what happened with whom, and if there is any wrong which has been done by this. Okay, by way of that, if it is found that they have done something wrong, then there should be recovery from them. What is your opinion about it?
Yes, sir. There have been many places that. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yes, sir. Sir, there have been many incidents and as well as news reports where the hospitals, they charged more amounts from the people who got admitted on behalf of COVID. And yes, sir, there should be an inquiry. There should be an inquiry into hospitals and what are the margins that they have taken. And at the same time, there should be a proper committee, and we should not see this from a short-term perspective. We should see this from a long-term perspective. Why? Because the exposure towards the new pathogens is also increasing. So the same kind of thing can also happen. So there should be a regulation committee with regard to hospitalization.
Right.
Thank you, Mesh Singh ji. Dr. Mesh, please.
Mr. Chitharanjan, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
You are named after a Deshabandhu,
Yes, sir.
Chitharanjan Das.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me who is called Dinabandhu?
Sir, he was from Maharashtra, but I'm not able to.
He's not from Maharashtra. Anyway, okay.
Okay, sir.
Now you are working in income tax.
Sir.
ED is Enforcement Directorate and Director of Revenue Intelligence. They are playing a very important role in prevention of corruption.
Sir.
Or also in unearthing the corrupt deeds because of PMLA.
Sir.
They are the person, they are the, charged or tasked institutions to conduct investigations or to,
Yes, sir.
a lot of link is there to PMLA cases in corruption, especially in mining, as well as in IT, especially in the cell phones, their licenses, etc.
Sir.
So, as a income tax officer, supposing you are selected into the IAS, you being the district vigilance officer to enforce strict ethics in the administration, not only in prevention but also detection of corruption.
Sir.
How are you going to deploy your skill set as an income tax officer in preventing corruption in the district? One and two steps. First step and second step.
Sir. Can I take some time to think about
Please.
it? First, as that particular mining is happening in my own territory, sir, and I will be the nodal officer to give the grants to that particular mining agencies. I will ensure that in the beginning of the year and in the end of the year, in the beginning of the year, I will ask them to submit the financials. That is number one. And I will tally the financials with their particular profits, with the margin of the mining that which they have done in the last year. And I will compare with the financials that which they are submitting in the end of the year. So here I will just check whatever the financials that which they are showing of mining in this year, it is done in sync with the agreement that which they made with the government. So that is the primary step that I will look into, sir. That is one thing. And second thing, it is also very much necessary that this particular information should be transferred to the concerned authorities. For example, I will share this information to the income tax department, to the GST department, and if necessary, I will also share it with the respected mining.
So you won't be interested in doing due diligence, collecting intelligence about them, their ROC details, their bank, their bank transaction details, all that? You won't? You won't?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That will be the process of.
In other words, even if there is no complaint,
Sir.
why the complaint is not there has to be looked into.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, my last question to you will be expenditure tax and interest tax versus income tax. Please say one supportive argument and one against argument. In other words, I, for one, would like to abolish income tax and enforce an expenditure tax and interest tax.
Sir.
And some people demand, so no, that's not correct. Income tax also has to be there.
Sir.
Which way you support and why?
Sir, I will tell first the pros of both the things and as well as the
Please tell. One each.
Yes, sir. Sir, with regard to income tax, it provides 1/4 of the finance revenue to the government. That is one pro, sir. Yes, sir. And if we remove the income tax, all of a sudden there will be a burden on the government because they have to. They will not have another alternative if the income tax is removed. And at the same time, it will also increase the fiscal deficit, and there will be rise in inflation also because there will be disposable income available to the people. Now coming to the expenditure tax, sir, expenditure tax is based upon every individual who is spending their money in the market. So when every individual is marked, when every individual is paying the expenditure tax, then it will be no more different from the indirect taxes. And we can't have tax slabs in the expenditure tax. So that will be very difficult to impose it, sir.
One just supplementary question I want to ask you. In Telangana, you belong to Warangal, right?
Yes, sir.
You are from Secunderabad. Recently, Honorable Chief Minister has made many districts, and his example is being followed by the rest of the country now.
Sir.
People say that because of a taluk also becoming a district headquarters, the cost of administration has increased, whereas the benefits of administration has not neither trickled down nor trickled up to the people. They just merely increased. Are you aware of any study conducted to prove the contention or the intention of the Honorable Chief Minister, right, by ASCII or by MCR HRD?
I have a very limited knowledge with regard to the studies which have been performed, sir. I will look into it, sir.
Okay, thank you. Right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, Chitharanjan.
Yes, good evening.
Okay. My first question is that income tax has become faceless and there has been mixed reaction to it. So do you think that it was the step in right direction?
Yes, ma'am. Faceless scheme has been brought into vogue in August 2020, and the key purpose is to honor the honest taxpayer people, and it is a very much in the right direction. And initially, yes, there are hiccups because it has been rolled out in a spontaneous fashion and on the basis of a pilot study. But it has been successful, and we were able to gather, and we were able to gather the highest amount of direct tax collections in this year than the previous years.
Can corporate social responsibility be considered as a juggler's game, or it can be seen as a good governance initiative?
Corporate social service, corporate social responsibility, it is a good governance scheme, and it also ensures that the corporates have certain social responsibility to the government and as well as to the citizens, so that they will divulge some sort of profits from their chunk of profits for the benefit of the society. So it is a good governance scheme. So I see it as so.
Okay. You have worked at 4 different places,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So which job did you find most challenging?
Ma'am, all the 4 jobs are challenging in their own respective arena and jurisdictions. But if I want to say one particular job, I find intelligence bureau job as challenging and as well as adventurous.
Okay. So, I've been going through your hobbies and they are varied and they are very interesting also. So, as for jewelry designing, what material you have been using?
So, with regard to jewelry designing, I prefer the gold alloy, which is 18 carats gold, that which is lighter in weight and at the same time it is scratch proof and it is also cheaper. And most of my designs are made for the working professionals, which are not too big, but they can be easily wearable and at the same time it has ease of presentation and not compromising with the elegance.
What is the difference between BIS mark and hallmark?
BIS mark is a Bureau of Indian Standards mark that, ma'am, just give me some time. I read about it, I'm not able to recall it. I am confused, ma'am. I think I have to look about it.
Okay. It's fine from my side. Best wishes.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think over to Amol sir now.
Good evening, Mr. Chitharanjan.
Good evening.
Could you please tell me the reasons for the crisis going on in Sri Lanka?
Sir, so Sri Lanka is undergoing both political and as well as economic crisis. So first I would like to talk about the economic crisis. First, they have done away with the fertilizers and they have done away with the fertilizers and they have shifted to organic farming. And unfortunately, the production from the organic farming was very less. This has led to the inflation. That is number one, sir. And number two, the Chinese checkbook diplomacy has also bankrupted the Sri Lankan economy. That is number two, sir. And number three, 2019, there were this Christchurch attacks that which also decreased the tourism revenue for the Sri Lanka, because the Sri Lanka is more majorly dependent upon tourism. So this is with regard to the economy, sir. And political crisis happened after the rising in inflation. The people revolted against the president and as well as the prime minister, and they asked the president Gotabaya to resign. Then they also came onto the roads, and the previous prime minister, he resigned, Mahindra Paksha, and he resigned, and Ranil Wickramasinghe is now the prime minister. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll continue this question what Ila ma'am asked you. You have the last 10 years you have served in 4 different services. So please tell me one key learning from each of the 4 services that has shaped your personality.
Yes, sir. Can I take some time, sir?
Sure.
Sir, in Intelligence Bureau, I developed the communication skills and as well as a knack of social intelligence. That is one thing I have developed, sir. And when I was in Indo-Tibetan Border Police, discipline and punctuality is something that which I have focused. And when I was in Indian Railway Service, I did not work in Indian Railway Service, sir, so I would skip it with your due permission. And when I'm in income tax department, out of the box thinking and at the same time giving detail introspection into minute details. This thing I have learned, sir.
All right. My last question to you: what is the difference between calligraphy and graphology?
Sir, graphology is the study of handwriting, sir, and calligraphy is the art of writing.
All right. Thank you so much. Over to you, Vara, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sanjan, I will not ask you anything.
Sir.
So what we'll do is now kindly switch off for 2 minutes.
Sir.
We will reconnect with you to give you feedback, please.
Sir.
Hello.
Mr. Besing, you kindly start, please.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Mr. Chitharanjan.
Sir.
Tell me something about your performance in this interview. How do you feel about it? And how do you rate about it yourself?
Sir, my performance has improved than the previous mock interviews that which I have given, sir. I have to articulate my answers in a much better way.
Previous interview means in the Rouse or somewhere else?
Yes, sir. In mock interviews, I'm talking. Yes, sir.
Where was the previous one?
Sir, I have given 2-3 interviews.
Where was the previous interview?
Rouse, sir. Rouse.
Okay, okay.
Sir.
Tell me, first question which I asked you about Raitu Bandhu.
Sir.
First of all, on facts, you should, because you belong to the state and you should be correct on facts. 5,000 rupees you told per annum. It is 5,000 rupees per acre per season.
Sir.
So total is 10,000.
Sir.
And of course, you told that you will fix some limit, but there was rational was not there, and later on it was good that you agreed that it should be telescope. Okay.
Sir.
So similarly, on some, I found that it is found by Mr. Amol that your answers, I also feel like that your answers were little longish.
Sir.
And very difficult, in fact, to intervene. It is something like, can we say something like Andhra Express or something like that? When we wanted to intervene, it took some time to intervene.
Sir.
So you should wait for the cues from the members, board members, whether they want to interject or not.
Sir.
So with these things, and I found otherwise your interviews are very good, your systematic and organized answers, particularly about Sri Lanka and other issues like your checkbook diplomacy and all that.
Sir.
They were quite okay. And also you spoke well about your service matters, different services you have been there.
Sir.
All the best. Other members will also speak to you now one by one.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Chitharanjan,
Sir.
do you have anything to ask me in specific?
Sir, I will look into the report that which you have said, sir, whether it is done by MCHRD or not.
My purpose of asking you is
Sir.
whether such reports are there or not. If you have that reports, if something is done,
Sir.
that will make you to support your answer, whichever way, effectively.
Sir.
It might be a research report. You can also search in the internet on the research gate.
Sir.
Some PhD scholar from IITs or somewhere they must have done. Or
Sir.
UPW, economic and political.
Sir.
One answer would be, better answer would be for that question is, the chief ministers go for urbanized more than number of districts because Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Renewal Mission, under that aegis, they will get more funds.
Sir.
Actually, in the interest of the state, you have more districts.
Sir.
Well, that is correct, but fortunately, it should always, it should also trickle down to the people. That shall be your answer.
Sir.
It is all difference on efforts. Otherwise, you are extremely nice. You are good. Your
Sir.
articulation is good. Only thing is, you should not go with this hairstyle. Please go with nice hairstyle.
Sir. Sir.
Don't appear like that young, these young boys on the road. You are an officer.
Sir.
You should go like an officer. Have clean shaven. Go
Yes.
with a tie and everything, and
Yes.
look like an officer because you are already income tax. All the
Yes.
very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am.
Yes, Chitharanjan.
Ma'am.
I have almost the same suggestions as has been given by Ramesh sir.
Sir.
In your this pic, you have a better haircut that suits you more. And see that there was a twist in my question when I asked what is the difference between BIS and Hallmark. BIS issues a certificate or it stems a certificate of purity known as Hallmark.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
best wishes, you have been articulate, just fine tuning some of the answers or polishing your skills.
Sure.
Okay. Best wishes.
Thank you.
I forgot to mention one thing.
Sir, sir.
I asked you about Dinabandhu. You did not know. It is
Sir.
Dinabandhu CF Andrews, not from Maharashtra.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you. Dear friends. Sir.
Okay, Mr. Chitharanjan, your interview was very nice. Just that, like my answers, you had given very nicely, very crisp. But I felt that the questions where you don't seem to know the answer, you try and give long answers. So better to avoid, and so that panelists can ask more questions. And the more number of questions will be asked, you will get more marks.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine, sir.